welcome to the Bluenose 100. We are so happy to be celebrating right here, downtown Lunenburg, amongst this amazing, majestic, beautiful ship. And I've got a special guest, Kelly. Tell us all about yourself a little bit. What's going on? Why are you in this small town, and what do you do?
Well, I'm an authentic Lunenburger.
Oh, I'm hearing that you're a little more than that. Something to do with fish.
Also known as the Lady Fishmonger.
The Lady Fishmonger. And it's Dory Mate?
Dory Mate Seafood Shop here in Lunenburg on Montague Street.
Right in town.
Yeah, we sell fresh fish caught on our waters.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And you brought me
For you to cook.
You brought me lobster, some cod, scallops.
And our favorite, the halibut.
And the halibut. Oh, that's going to be some good. So we are making a hurricane soup right here, downtown Lunenburg, and a great way to be able to celebrate the Bluenose 100. Of course, I took the menu from back in the 20s and searched through what are the unique things that we could do, and we saw this hurricane soup come up on the menu back in the 20s a lot, and we said, let's put a spin on that. So that's what we're doing.
I've never heard of it.
Gorgeous, gorgeous view. I mean, how lucky are we?
Fog's rolling in.
Oh, is that it? I suppose if you're from here, that would be the first thing you'd see. I haven't seen past the ship yet. I don't know, but I
think the sun's coming out.
I think going with this, I think there's some cool beer in town.
There is. Right up the street.
Maybe that's what we need to go in front of this. What do you think?
Where are we going to find that? We'll have to call Adam.
We'll have to call Adam. Adam!
I hear you're looking for cold beer?
We are looking for cold beer.
It's a good thing I was just up the street.
That's
I'm
pretty
your guy.
cool.
With some Bluenose 100 beer as well, too, that we made for the special occasion.
Very, very cool.
For you?
Oh, pour moi. Ladies first.
Oh, sorry,
Okay.
excuse me.
Yes. Come on, where's your manners, Adam?
Chef first. I agree.
For you. Oh.
And for me,
One
of course,
for you.
too.
Oh, you're joining us. That's even better. Nice and cold. First
Cheers.
thing in the morning.
Cheers.
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 Breakfast
Santé.
beer.
So this is a Hell's Lager that we did, and we're just up the street here, Shipwright Brewing Company. It's a nice,
Fresh.
crisp, easy
Tastes like
drinking.
more. So, Adam, tell us about the brewery. What's the connection with the Bluenose?
So,
obviously
yeah,
the name.
The name for sure. I named the brewery after the shipwrights in Lunenburg, past and present. The trade that's still alive and well. Most of our homes in town were built by shipwrights as well, and it just was suiting to be a brewery in Lunenburg celebrating the Bluenose 100.
That's
and
awesome.
so we were really happy to be a part of this special occasion that means a lot to our town.
So, is this the beer choice on the ship, or are they allowed to drink on the ship?
They actually they have a special at the restaurant, just special price for the staff to drink this beer. So
Well, that is
It's a
an awesome
dry ship.
idea.
we do a
Pretty sure
crew
it's
brew
dry.
At the Banker
at the Old Fish Factory.
and the Fish Factory.
And the Old Fish Factory, yeah,
Oh,
exactly,
nice.
yeah.
So you're the proud owner of both places,
Yeah.
and the beer. I mean, this is good for you, boy.
Thank you.
You're not a boy from Lunenburg.
Yeah, I was born and grew up here. I grew up just
As
around-
well.
Yeah, exactly.
It's funny how everybody's coming back.
Yeah.
Place to be.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place to live, for sure. I was telling Joanne. Oh, Joanne is with us too, by the way. We forgot to say that. But Joanne is in the background, and she's going to do some commentary back and
Well,
forth.
I'm just here in case you guys are missing any points. You guys are bang on today.
So we did do this beer in collaboration with Garrison in Halifax.
Awesome.
So it was, it's been received very well.
Ah, good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you, Adam. Good things happen to good people. Cheers, you
Oh,
guys.
that's
Sure,
my
yeah.
line too.
There you go. All right, I guess we better get cooking.
All right, I'll leave you guys to it.
Beer's
Thanks,
so
Adam. We
delicious.
appreciate it very much. So we're going to put a twist on this hurricane soup. The hurricane soup, I'm going to guess, when you think of it, hurricane, it's probably you need something soft for your stomach. It was probably a broth of some sort. But
Warm.
I wanted to do something because I knew you were coming on, and I want to do something with seafood, and I love your apron, by the way.
Great.
Yeah, one of those should be in Al's collection at one point or another.
Handmade.
Handmade.
Mahone Bay. Yeah.
In Mahone Bay.
Yeah, it's one of a kind, actually, but I will share.
Again on the South Shore.
Yep.
I love that. All right, so I thought we'd put a twist on a hurricane soup. So we're going to start by throwing some turnip. I mean, I'm going to use some ingredients that you wouldn't necessarily use in a soup all the time. But I'm thinking back in the 20s, they would have lots of turnip. They'd have lots of onions, and they would have lots of potatoes. Now, they
Celery.
may not have basil, but We're stretching it.
Yeah.
All right, and we got lots of seafood. So I'm going to start by adding, I chopped up some turnip, and I've got some celery. Mix that in there as well. I mean, there's nothing a good soup can't have, but a little bit of a mirepoix, some onions. I don't have carrots for this. I thought the tomatoes instead would work.
While you're adding that, I would like to know from Kelly exactly what the term fishmonger means. Ooh.
Oh, she's going to put us on the spot, Kelly. I forgot to tell you that. I'm going to keep adding potatoes and stay out of that
I
trouble.
haven't asked that question before.
I'm assuming a fishmonger is just
Well,
someone
it
that
sells fish. It's a fish salesman.
It was
or
the
woman.
guy.
So
It
it should
was
be a
the guy that went from street to street and sold fish
the
to different.
fishmonger.
A monger.
And there's not
monger.
a lot of female fishmongers in the province.
I only know of one other.
Really?
Interesting.
Yeah.
How did you get into that?
Oh, wow. That's a good question.
I'm just
Your
full of
husband's a
questions.
fisherman, though, is he?
Well, here, I want to go right back. Go right back.
Right, go right
Okay, we
back.
go right back to the Bluenose, actually.
Well, let's
My
do that.
great-grandfather was on the Bluenose.
Get out of
Yeah, he
here.
used to fish, yeah. Great-grandfather. And then my grandfather was also a sea captain, so they were both sea captains.
Because I think
So-
a lot of people think of the Bluenose as a racing vessel, but she was a
Right.
fishing vessel
Right,
first.
and they would fish, they would sort of race for fun. That's what they would do. On their pastime, they would race. And the Bluenose was the fastest boat out
Yeah, they
there.
discovered they were very good
Yeah,
at
she
racing.
beat the Americans. Yeah.
Oh, you seem pretty proud of that.
Yeah, we'll have a few songs, a few jingles about that one.
Well, it's
Um,
funny. I did
So
a
yeah, I'm a fishing family.
I did a little post last night, and I was looking for a Bluenose music or song, and that's the song that came about.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
some
cool.
good ones.
So your great grandfather was a fisherman on the Bluenose.
They were both sea captains. He was a fisherman on the Bluenose. Yeah.
Interesting.
And isn't it?
When we did some research looking for recipes to recreate, we
Mm-hmm.
discovered that being a chef or being a cook on the Bluenose was not an easy job. The first meal was put on the table at 4 a.m., the last one at 11 p.m., and then there was a food locker that was kept full
Could you imagine?
24/7.
And keeping up with all those men and keeping them happy.
I was shocked of how well they ate, though. I mean, they
Well, no
ate.
wonder they came up with this hurricane soup. I mean,
Well, I don't know.
Throw everything in a pot.
I don't know what it was like to have the hurricane soup.
I think ours is going to taste a little better.
But I don't know. We'll wait and see. So far I've added potatoes, I've added some turnip, I've added some celery. And now I'm going to load it full of onions and shallots, so that'll give us that nice taste. And
I think they had shallots. Do you think they had shallots in their locker?
no, I don't think they did. But they did have a lot of sweets. Like, it was
Yeah.
really cool. Based on the research that we did, the menu itself, there was a little bit of a recipe book from those days, and it's loaded with amazing pastries and dessert. It really
Wow.
is.
Sweet tooth, I guess.
Yeah.
Keep the men happy.
Well, I think that's what kept the men happy,
Yeah.
probably, away from home. And
Empty. We can see the Bluenose behind us, and by today's standards, when you talk fishing vessels, she's not huge, and I'm guessing she would encounter some seas.
she was sleek and fast.
so she would
Yeah.
handle the waves. Is
She
that
was
what you're
quick.
trying to say?
I
Yeah.
think it would take a special breed
In
of man
and
to
out.
be a fisherman on
Yeah.
that vessel.
Yeah, and they fished the dories.
And there's a lot of young
Really?
people on board.
Yeah, keep that in mind too. Young people, yeah.
What an amazing adventure to be
Yeah.
crewing on the
I
Bluenose.
think my
for
grandfather
summer.
was in grade 9 when he first went to sea
Oh my, that's young.
as a stowaway on his father's vessel.
So that
And
means he
came-
was there
well,
illegally.
because he wasn't allowed to go.
Yeah.
He had to go to school.
So once you get so
So
far
he
from
snuck
shore, he
on
just said, "Hey."
board when his father wasn't watching. Yeah, hid down below till they got out far enough that he knew his father wouldn't turn around. And he came out, and do you know what he said? Son, if you're gonna be here, you're gonna work. And so he did.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
At 9 years old.
grade 9.
Grade 9.
Grade 9.
Well, that's still very
I mean,
young.
that's a boy.
Yeah.
So like 14 years old. Yeah.
That is incredible.
Yeah. And he was a
Tell
sea
us a little
captain.
bit about the dory mates.
Ooh, so that's also where Dory Mates got the name.
Before you go too far, so I've added onions and shallots, and I'm also going to add a little bit of thyme, okay? A good 4 or 5 sprigs of
I love
thyme
thyme.
to give it
Fresh.
that flavor. And while you're explaining about the dory mate, I'm going to chop up some basil and some parsley to add to it, to add to the flavor. And we're going to need salt and pepper, Joanne, if you
Uh-oh.
don't mind
Oh, I can
grabbing
grab
that.
some of that, sure thing.
Great.
And you could clue right in and go right into what you were going to talk about, the dory mate.
Okay, so dory mates. I got the name was because, like we said, they were sea captains and they used to fish at the dories. And my grandfather would refer to his lovely wife as his dory mate.
Oh, how cute.
Yeah, so if you roll in without your partner into his kitchen, you're like, where's your dory mate today? Where's your partner in crime?
Oh, no way.
Yeah, your
oh, that's
buddy.
sweet.
And so when I opened Dory Mates, that's where I got the name from.
Oh, that's
So
very
it's named
cute.
after my grandparents,
So
I suppose.
You've really done a nostalgic trip all the way around. You couldn't wait to get out of here in the first place. And you ended up in Halifax, I assume?
Yeah,
Or
spent a year in Halifax.
Okay, and then you couldn't wait to come back.
Couldn't wait to come back.
Good for you.
Too much hustle and bustle in the city.
Yeah, it's a different world, isn't it?
Yeah.
Different world. I got some
So what do you
beautiful
got now? Parsley?
fresh parsley,
Okay.
and there's nothing like some good fresh herb. I mean, this is going to be a bit like a grandma's soup in a way, right? And while this is all going to simmer away,
I'm going to drink some beer.
you're going to drink beer, and I'll probably
Bluenose beer.
join
Shipwright.
you. Actually, I was very impressed with the beard. I had indulged to a few of them yesterday,
Did you?
and that's all right. Look, nice fresh basil. Oh, I love the smell of basil.
I think it's my favorite herb.
Yeah, it's got that
It really is. I
oh,
grow on my back deck at all times. I mean,
nice.
summer.
So do you know when the Bluenose is heading out again? I think I heard
I'm
she
not
was only
certain,
there
but I'm
for a
sure
few
someone
more
around here can
days.
tell us that. She's all over the world.
Well, she was just back in yesterday, wasn't she? She was away.
Yeah.
I think she spends the summer going port to port. doesn't
She promotes Nova Scotia tourism, I believe, is her
Absolutely.
job. Yeah.
So, Kelly, we're going to put a twist on this.
Okay,
Why don't we throw a little bit of beer? I mean, Adam brought extra.
that's an idea.
Let's pour a little bit of beer in there. Yep.
Which beer?
Sure, that works.
This one's new.
Sure.
That's mine.
You sure?
Lipstick on it.
This is
I don't
mine.
care.
All right,
They're all
so
full.
there we go. Some beer. Nothing like a bit of beer and a good cold and
That's gonna be
beautiful
great.
soup. There we go. And some tomatoes. Look at that. So I've got some crushed fire roasted tomatoes right on top. And now we'll put the cover on this. Do you want
Okay.
to put that underneath and grab the cover? And I'll give this a little bit of stir.
So can you just do a bit of a recap and tell us what's in the pot?
Yeah, because now I know I'm missing summer savory.
Pot.
Okay.
Do we have some?
Yes.
I will go see if I can find that.
It's a good thing we have a backup kitchen.
Yeah.
All right,
They're
so
not live.
in the pot right now, I have about 4 liters of water. I then added all kinds of vegetables. So I got some turnip, and I've got some shallots, and I've got some onions, and I've got some potatoes, and I've got some fresh basil. I've got some fresh thyme. I got some celery. I'll add a bit of fresh tomatoes and summer savory, and that's it. And I'll finish it with a little bit of some of our mustard.
Good idea.
Yeah, that's going to be great. So a little summer savory would have been used on the Bluenose for sure. So not a lot, like about a teaspoon, I mean.
I'm just giggling here.
You
Do you know what it says?
It says,
Some like it hot.
Some like it hot. So let's throw, because it's hurricane, it's got to have a little heat. So if you want to give me, a good heaping teaspoon will work.
Okay.
And that'll give us some color as well to our soup. But of course, now we're going to get all our seafood ready. But might as well take a swig. I'm
Go
gonna.
ahead, taste the product.
I won't be able to drive home by the looks of it.
Good. I'm sure we can find a spot for you to stay here.
So you brought a nice baguette with you. Tell us a little bit about the bakery itself.
Oh, that's from the bakery in Boulangerie Le Vendéen here in Blockhouse.
In Blockhouse,
And
which
that's
is
the
also on the
sourdough
South
baguette.
Shore.
Yeah, right here.
Okay.
About 10 minutes away. And yeah, they mostly organic products. And we carry a few at our shop. Goes well with mussels and lobster.
So it's a full-fledged sourdough, more or less.
That's a sourdough baguette. That's just the one I chose. It's the one I prefer.
That's your favorite.
Yeah.
And that's what I
I love
asked you to do.
sourdough.
And you brought some halibut, you brought some lobster, and you brought some cod as well.
Cod, yes.
Okay. So we need to cut that in bite-sized pieces.
Okay. I can
So-
help with that one.
That'll be our next step while I throw in this tomato. So I threw in a can, 100-ounce cans of fire roasted tomatoes, which give you some depth and flavor, and the fresh tomatoes will add the delicateness of the fresh, local sort of feel. And I'm going to steal this for a second because my hand's getting a little wet.
So is it like the olden days, Kelly? Do you come down and meet the boats as they're coming in, or do they bring the fish to you now?
Ooh,
Oh.
she's mean.
Either no, that's okay. Either way, now most of it is delivered because of the way they've changed regulations and such. It's very regulated now. Years ago, yes, you would come to the boat and you probably would pick out your fish right off the dock. Yeah, and you can still do that depending on licensing.
So the halibut that you have there, obviously halibut is very beautiful. I guess it's my favorite personal fish. I mean, I
Mine
love
too.
cod, but there's something about halibut. It's meaty. It's not overly flaky, but it's nice and meaty. You could almost cut it like a steak, which is
Hardier.
yeah,
Yeah.
heartier. That's a great way to look
it
at it.
stays
Fall
more together.
apart
It
in your
stays
soup like
together.
haddock.
That's right.
It's delicate.
And I chose cod because obviously the Bluenose would be heavily involved.
That's what
in
they would have fished years
cod
ago.
fishing. Yeah, for sure. And we've got some scallops. Those are Adam Knickel's, I assume,
Sure, yeah.
just across the street.
Right.
And some lobster.
Yeah.
Because, seafood is seafood.
Did
All
you
right.
know my husband's a lobster fisherman?
Well, I heard through the
Fun
grapevine
fact.
that he's also like
Fun
this
fact.
big, and I should be worried.
Yeah, look out.
Okay.
He's right over there.
All right. Do I have kids? Is there
I'm
kids?
joking.
Kids
He's
around as
not
well?
here. I could have brought them.
You should have brought the kids.
Yeah.
All right. So now, like everything else, we're going to wait for this to come to a
Okay.
boil. When it comes to a boil, we're going to take all the fish that you have here and cut it in small pieces. Maybe we could pile it more to the right. I'll give you room to work here.
Yeah, just cubes like it.
Yeah, I would say
Cut it in
the
half
halibut a
and
little smaller because it won't fall apart. No, go for it.
What is your record time for breaking down a halibut?
Ooh, you know what? I should do that soon. About 20 minutes.
20 minutes, you can break down an
Like
entire
a-
halibut.
Without
Like
any
100
distractions.
pounds, 50 pounds.
So my preferred weight, just for yield and everything, it's about 35 pounds.
35
pounds. About
pounds.
all I can handle.
Yeah.
I stake it down and then I fill up the rest.
And you would go through a fair amount of halibut over the year for sure.
Yeah.
And as the pandemic pushed people more to buy local in your store,
For sure.
Are they
Or,
getting it
You know
more?
what? The look.
I would even go the
This
thicker
way?
part, maybe cut this way a little bit, because we don't need big pieces,
This.
right? That's beautiful.
That's very forward of you to tell a professional fishmonger how to cover.
Oh,
a
I'm
fish.
not a
what?
chef.
I just want to know what I want to see in my soup. I want it a certain
I
way.
am not. That's why I handed you the knife.
That's beautiful.
I am not a chef,
I wouldn't go that far.
but I like good food.
Perfect.
And do you just sell halibut and
Nope.
steaks, or do you sell
for
halibut
it.
fillets as well?
Oh, this is fillet right here.
That is, and you sell the fillet.
Yes,
halibut
that's
fillets are not easy to find.
That's the preferred. Fillets are the preferred cut because it's bone out and it's easier to handle, and a lot of people don't care for the bones in their fish.
Okay, we'll do the same thing. We'll push the halibut up, and we'll do the same thing to the cod. The cod is nice and thick, so I would say on the thicker part, maybe cut it in half and then dice it up the same way. So we're basically making a tomato-based fish soup in a way.
Do you know what my grandmother would say?
Sure.
When you buy land, you buy stones. When you buy fish, you buy bones.
So
Good
live
one,
with it.
right?
So live with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Good one, huh? She was a hell of a lady.
The good part is we don't need to cook the fish very long, right? So while we're going to do, you're going to do the same thing. Maybe this one cut only in 4, like this way, and then as many pieces as you want that way.
'Cause it's gonna.
So 4 pieces, there you go. And I would go like an inch.
So essentially, we're
That
just
works.
going to poach the fish.
Yeah, that's what's essentially, I'm waiting for this to all come to a boil. When it comes to a boil, everything is so small. It's fresh, beautiful potatoes, the local country magic potatoes, and they've got turnip. So the cuts, everything is small, so everything will fall apart. So that's why I'm going to hold the fish as long as I can.
Very delicate.
So move the fish here, and then we should probably take the beard off the scallops.
Okay, sure. They might already be off classes.
Or maybe they're off already. Look how beautiful, white, gorgeous that fish is. Wow. And we got some scallops. And we've got about 8 ounces of each. 8 ounces of halibut, 8 ounces of scallops, 8 ounces of cod, and 8 ounces of lobster. That's what's in our hurricane soup. But you could put whatever you prefer. I mean, if you don't like that and you'd prefer to add some sole or some ground fish, you're welcome to add whatever you prefer. Okay?
Mussels in the shell would be beautiful. as
Mussels
well.
in the shell, yeah. So we're basically looking at those beautiful scallops from Adam Knickles, and we're removing the bit. Or in some cultures,
Mussel, we call it, I think.
mussel, bit, some people call it the beard. Like everybody calls a different word for it. I call it the bit because it's a bit too thick and chunky.
Chewy.
Chewy. So I always take it out. A lot of people use this as a base for doing some broth for their chowder. Or if you're Acadians, they would be kept to add to your chowder because they never threw anything out, right?
Wow.
So that's what we're doing. So we're going to take every one of
I
them.
think I got
You got them all? You saved me one? Oh, there's one. Okay, and then the lobster next to that. And of course, now we're waiting for the famous pot to boil, which should take no time. Look at that, the boil pot is starting.
beautiful.
You could
you smell
see,
that?
yeah, you could smell the summer savory. You could smell that mustard. Look at the color of the mustard, what the mustard did. Changed the
Beautiful.
color a little bit. We got that nice pink color. We're gonna stir this up. Oh, look at that. That is gorgeous. But then I'm being biased. Okay, so we've got our fish and seafood because we have lobster and we have scallops and we have some halibut in our cod and we're ready to get our soup. I think the soup is at that point.
Ooh, looks great.
The smell. Yeah, the smell is nice. So I'm going to take the cover off and I'm going to turn my burner to a minimum and we're going to basically let this simmer. And we're going to simmer with our fish. Okay, so I'm going to add the fish all in. I'll start with the halibut because it's the meatiest. And I'm going to break it up into pieces. So that's going to create all kinds of beauty. So right now we have a really nice vegetable broth. But now we're adding the fish part to it. And we're going to add some cod. And we're going to finish with the scallops. And we're not going to put the lobster until the very last second. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to put the cover on. But before I do, I'm going to give it a quick stir. And it's not going to take that long because it's so hot to cook the fish. And that's our purpose. We want the fish to not fall apart, but just stay in nice chunks. I think, anyway. What do you think?
I agree. My mother would say you don't stir chowder.
You don't stir a chowder. Oh, so the fish
Poach.
doesn't fall apart. That's right. So that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
So we stirred it because we needed to separate the halibut and the cod that you had cut
Yeah,
one
for
on the
sure.
other. So what are we going to do next? You going to do a jig? Is there a special song you want to know? No, but we got to fill some
Sing
time.
Sing the Bluenose song.
What is the Bluenose song?
There's
Do you know?
lots.
You don't know. I don't know what it is neither.
You didn't learn that one
Joanne,
in music class?
what's the Bluenose song? You're going to sing us in a tune?
I know the Bluenose song, but I couldn't even tell you who
There's a
wrote it.
few. Yeah, I should know the answer to that.
It doesn't matter. So the good part is that we're here in Lunenburg, next to, I mean, what a great backdrop. I mean, how lucky are we? Joanne and I do this live little show once in a while that a lot of people follow that I think are going to get a kick out of this in a big way. And of course, it's going to air on YouTube. It's going to air on the Bluenose 100. It's going to be all over the place. We're going to make you a star girl.
Oh, great.
Not that you're already a star anyway. All right, you're a star in my book, Wendy. No, Kelly, I'm teasing you.
Joke of the day.
Joke of the day. What is Kelly's real name, Wendy? Well, you could call me, what are you going to call
It'd be
me?
fun playing someone else for a day. You could just be somebody else.
I like that
That's
idea.
fun.
Oh, look, that fish is turning white already.
Oh, look at that.
Perfect. So let's throw the scallops right in. And let's leave them whole. We're in scallop country, why not? A lot of restaurants would probably cut the scallops up a little bit to give a better yield, but there's no need of doing that since we're
Not
here.
at home.
Yeah, we're going to put this cover back on, and we're going to let it cook just a little tiny bit more.
So you're adding the lobster at the very end because it's already cooked?
It's
I
already
assume?
cooked.
Correct.
Yeah, that's correct. And we're going to serve this with a nice chunk of bread. So let's do that. Break it apart the old-fashioned way?
Sure.
Sure. I love doing this with a baguette.
I've never done that before.
No, there's something about it, using a baguette and going the old-fashioned way.
Off baguettes.
Just like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Dip it right in the soup.
A tomato-based seafood chowder is very prevalent to the South Shore, isn't it?
I grew up with a green-based seafood chowder. Thank you.
There we go. It's usually potato-based. South Shore, I would think.
But it's not uncommon to see a tomato-based chowder on menus here.
A bouillabaisse or
Yeah?
It's missing
seafood
a bit
stew.
of,
Mm-hmm.
it's missing a bit of flavor. I think it needs salt. Yeah, it's missing something.
Salt and pepper.
I think it's missing salt. Lots and lots of salt. There we go.
This is not a bad day in the office, I have to say.
Right.
It's beautiful. Look, the fog is lifting. We can see a little further out now.
Some pepper. Do we need more beer?
Maybe. Never too much beer.
Look, we're going to add some more seasoning to this because I think I underestimated the water content. That's okay.
When is your lobster fishery here on the South Shore?
It begins the last week of November.
Is it?
Yeah,
Tough time of the year to be a
it's
fisherman.
cold.
Yes.
And then it ends long, actually, the last week of May.
And they're not coming in with their catch every day, are they?
They are.
Oh, they do come
Yes.
in daily.
Not everywhere is up the shore, but locally here, they come in every day. They go out about, depends on the fisherman. My husband goes for about 18 hours.
So it's a shorter haul, more or less.
Yeah, they're home
Fishing.
every day. They leave early, and that's also preference to weather and
To get to the
the wind.
area.
The window they have of, you know, how high the seas are or how windy it is. But he leaves really early, like 2 a.m.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
So-
a long day.
Mm-hmm.
I've added about a quarter more of the seasoning that I originally had, just so that you're aware. And let's bring this a little higher, quick boil.
Does your husband fish anything in the off season?
Herring.
Herring?
Yeah, in August and September. It's a herring roe fishery.
Yes.
Yeah, off Port Mattoon. Yes. And we make Solomon Gundy at the shop. Do you like Solomon Gundy?
I love Solomon
Oh, I should have
Gundy.
brought you a jar.
It's Joanne's absolute favorite.
We make the best.
Joanne grew up eating salt or Solomon Gundy, and I remember when I first moved, my first job ever was at the Bridgewater Wanlin Inn
Oh, yeah?
back in the early 80s. Yes, I'm dating myself, folks, I am. My first job was in a strip club, but that's a different story. I was actually cooking. I had nothing to do with the pole. But yes, when I moved to Bridgewater, I had my official real chef job.
Bridgewater.
Yes,
That.
I moved to Bridgewater and I didn't speak a lick of English. So I was amongst the famous Rodenizers, all the family names that I try to remember. And I managed the hotel. I wasn't of age to actually serve alcohol. I was too young. But yeah, so I have a little bit of connection to the South Shore, and I did my first event ever on a schooner
Wow.
based out of here for the Sunoco Oil Company. I was so excited.
Okay.
But we're going back many moons. You weren't even thought of by then, I'm sure. All right. So look, this soup looks absolutely stunning. I'm going to throw in the lobster, give it that finishing touch. And we are wrapping this up. So, Kelly, it was a pleasure to be with you, of course. This
Thank
is
you.
pretty cool. There's no question you'd want to let this soup simmer a little longer. But hey, it's live television, and sometimes you got to do what you got to do. So it'll look beautiful anyway.
Lovely color.
Yeah, look
Yeah.
look at those
Wow.
nice chunks. Scallops.
So who are we feeding this beautiful chowder to?
Well, this is for me. You know, due to what we're going through, we can't really sample anything. So we're going to make sure that we take this. I think I've been careful about doing what I'm doing so that everybody sees, because what I'm treating is the entire crew on the Bluenose is going to get a really nice bowl of soup.
Very good idea.
And it's a hurricane soup. Look, this is what it looks like.
Wow.
Let's give it a little garnish, maybe a little green. What do you think? Just to fill the hole. And a nice chunk of bread on the side. There it is. What do you think?
Wonderful.
Hurricane soup a la Kilted Chef and a la Wendy. Pretty good, isn't it?
Her name's Kelly.
I know that, but I'm picking on her. I'm allowed to pick on her. Kelly, why do you get involved in this? I'm teasing you. There it is, finished product for the Bluenose, and of course, I'm sure the crew is gonna love this, and so is Kelly.
Yes.
Aren't you gonna give it a try? Hashtag stay in love, folks. We'll see you soon. I was only picking on you. You had to get involved, didn't you?
Hashtag stay in love.